Breathe in experience, breathe out poetry. Muriel Rakasaya. My experience with poetry has always been a unique journey. My first time reading poetry, I thought the poet was completely mad, and that a poem was just a bunch of random words spewed onto a page. But through growth and experience, I began to interact with poems on an emotional manner. I've always felt as if I was a sea animal living on land. The feeling of being uncomfortable with my own characteristics. In modern day times, I could be described as an overthinker, a person that cannot stop diving deeper and deeper within their mind until an answer to a solution is found. I have always felt alone in the world, as to this day I have never met another person that has openly expressed to being an overthinker, until I came across the poem Overthinking by Claire A. Montgomery. The poem describes the torturous endeavor that overthinkers must incur daily. This poem finally made me feel as if I belonged to a community that is far larger than I could ever imagine. The community taught me that overthinking was not unreasonable or intolerable, that rather it was a common characteristic that majority of us here keep quiet. For the first time in my life, I could really express my true self. Poetry is a form of art that allows us to share our undesired characteristics to help someone else feel as if they are a sea animal living in the ocean. Poetry helped me understand the idea of breaking the barriers of the conventional life. Often I found myself pondering whether the capitalist society we live in today is a prison for my aspirations. The idea that we go straight from school to university to a job has led me to the feeling of entrapment, like a helpless animal in a snare. To Althea from Prison by Richard Lovelace taught me that stone walls do not a prison make, but rather the feeling of entrapment is mentally. Life is only a prison if you perceive it to be. And just like the speaker in the poem, we can find our freedom in our loved ones. Relationships are the single most important aspect of our lives, and we should never neglect them due to our work. Poetry helped me realize that the greatest tool for breaking the barriers has been right in front of me the entire time. And that in order to escape my prison, all I have to do is see the amazing opportunities and people I surround myself with. Poetry also taught me that these amazing opportunities do not fall on the majority of the population, and that for some people, the rainbows never existed. Refugees Blues by W.H. Auden helped me understand the immense privilege I have access to. I am lucky enough to stand here and say I have a roof over my head, but some people have not one of them. Poetry was my first platform. Poetry was the first platform for me to hear the voices we never hear. The voices of the people whose struggles tackle our modern day perception of prosperity. These voices have announced the injustices our politicians have committed in the past. Poetry has been my first real taste of what true reality is, as the people I surround myself in my so-called bubble all fall under the privileged category. Poetry has helped individuals in crisis situations express their struggles to the minority in a form of art. Poetry has helped me realize that I should be thankful for my position in society today, and that I should use this position to help someone else see their rainbow one day. Poetry may be seen as a bunch of random words spewed onto a page, but there is meaning behind the madness.